Weston's with us in Nashville. Hey, Weston, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Howdy, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, so I'm also a nurse. I'm on baby step 4, and what my question is should I have money set aside to go to seminary right now because I'm wanting to change careers, but should I use that money to go to seminary, or should I use that money to make a down payment on a home?
Wow. From nursing to seminary.
Yes, sir.
That's an interesting call. I like it.
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
26 years old, sir.
Okay. When will you enter seminary if you don't buy a house and have the money?
If I don't buy a house, then I could do it January.
And you would take you how long?
To complete seminary?
Mm-hmm.
3 years. I would get my master's in divinity, sir.
Okay. All right.
What's the goal? What's the end result?
The end goal is I would love to be a pastor, and that's why, like, I've read your book, Proximity Principle. Mm-hmm. What I want to do is I want to faithfully serve the people serve God's people. Mm-hmm. And what I've been doing is obviously reading my Bible, reading the books, and serving as best as I can. What I'm concerned about is that I won't be fully educated to serve as best as I can. I'm not chasing a degree. I'm not chasing a piece of paper. I'm just chasing the maximum amount of education. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're aware there's a lot of highly effective pastors that do not have an MDiv.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My dad started 2 churches, pastored for 47 years, and did not get his MDiv. Now, he did go to Bible college, and he did a lot of studying, and the guy read commentaries, still reads commentaries. So I think that what you've got to understand is there is opportunity for you to get more biblical knowledge, to learn and continue to learn, whether you have an MDiv or not. Now, I'm not trying to talk you out of doing an MDiv, but I do think you've got to understand that there are multiple pathways and different levels of education, none of which...
It's not table stakes in that world.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the knowledge that you get from MDiv is not table stakes to be a pastor. And so I want you to understand that. And so then that makes me back up and say, I want you to go on. I'm more worried about seminary and more worried about you going into the ministry than I am you buying a house. Yeah. So let's just take the house off the table and let's move towards your new career as fast as we can. But I might add some steps to your career transition to see if you really want to spend the money and the time on an MDiv. You don't have to spend 3 years to get an MDiv to be qualified.
So let's play this out. Are you wanting to be a senior pastor as it stands today at 26? Is that the goal?
Eventually, but I don't think right now I have the spiritual knowledge
No. And you don't, and it's okay. But let's back this up now. If right now, and this can change, we know it's ministry, but it could be senior pastor. Maybe you find as you get into it that you'd rather be an executive pastor. That's just as much ministry as a person who's preaching on Sundays. I think you got to actually look to get in a volunteer ministry position. You're a nurse right now. You're in great shape financially. I want to see you try to work towards a part-time, so right now volunteer, and then try to move to a part-time ministry position. Churches need folks like you who they can't pay full-time, but they need somebody to step in. And I would truly work the proximity principle, which for the audience says, in order to do what you want to do, ministry, pastoral work, got to be around people that are doing it in places where it's happening. Get in and sample and taste and see all the different types of ministry positions. At 26, you can learn a lot just from doing that, Dave. And then you volunteer a little bit, maybe a part-time role, and you
start
stay
taking
in that nursing
classes
job.
at a Bible college that would count towards an MDiv.
Yeah.
But don't wait to start your ministry until you finish an MDiv.
Yeah. Get into it and see what, maybe it's youth, maybe it's singles, maybe it's, pastoral care, where you spend your whole week visiting people. Counseling is a form of ministry. And then, of course, the senior pastor or the executive pastor. Really need to get in and see it, taste it, experience a little bit of it. And then at 26, 27, 28, you get a better idea which path you want to walk.
Yeah, and we're throwing around inside baseball terms. MDiv stands for Masters in Divinity, for those of you that are wondering what the flip we're talking about.
That's right.
But, you get a master's degree in seminary is what it amounts to. And it certainly qualifies you to do a lot of things in the church world, without a doubt. The knowledge base does, not the piece of paper. And he's approaching that from the right angle. But to answer your overall question, I would put your career shift ahead of purchasing a home right now. You've got plenty of time to buy a home later, and it's a weird market to buy in anyway right this second. Like there's 9,000 buyers for every house that's for sale and that kind of stuff. And so, it's not a bad time to sit on the sidelines anyway, and let's just take some steps. But I might take a different step than saying, I got to go get an MDiv before I'm qualified knowledge base wise to do ministry. Not true. Not true. That's it's not an accurate situation.
One of my dear friends, when Stacy and I lived in Richmond, Virginia, when we first got married, went to a church, and the pastor there was probably 32 and was in his first senior pastor job, had worked his way into it, and he got his MDiv while being a pastor.
Yeah, I know several guys.
So that's a very normal path as well.
Sure, and the church will pay for it.
Yes, most of the time.
And it's not unusual at all. I've been in several situations where the associate pastor was working, continuing. I mean, it's continual personal growth in your field of endeavor.
That's right.
And so you got to do something to continue your personal growth. And, ignorance is not good in any field. So, that's not an unusual growth path for someone sitting in an associate pastor role or a young adults pastor role or whatever to be working on that. And many times the church, if it's a church of size, will pay for it.